Well, what a match we just witnessed. My word. There was some seriously impressive power hitting from, of course, Najibullah Zadran, and he was well supported by Ibrahim Zardan. And as a result, Afghanistan are now the first team to have qualified for the Asia Cup Super Fours. You heard that right. Breaking news update for you guys. Afghanistan have beaten Bangladesh by 7 wickets, and they are now through to the Super Fours, having, of course, beaten Sri Lanka in their first match. They've now absolutely dominated against, Bangladesh as well. And well, what a win this was in so many ways. This was a thrilling match to watch, and it could have really gone either way. You got that feeling, especially after the first 10 overs, because if you watched our mid innings show, we had said very clearly that for Afghanistan the key would be that their batsmen get them off to a quick a start. However, that is exactly what didn't happen, and in fact they were sitting at like 40 odd for two, if I'm not wrong, towards the end of 10 overs, which means they were going at a run rate of less than 5, which, even considering the kind of score that they were chasing, still left a lot to be done. They needed around 80 runs of the last 10 overs, but my god, Najibullah Zadran just made hitting look absolutely effortless, especially in the latter stages when you felt that they needed a few lusty blows. That's exactly what he provided. In fact, if you look at his you look at his stats from, of course, the match. He scored 43 runs of 17 balls, 1 4 and 6 sixes. You heard that right, 6 sixes. He was dealing in sixes in this entire match, and in fact, he ends with a strike rate of 252.94. So that's a massive show of brute power from Najibullah Zadran. He was, of course, well supported by Ibrahim Zadran, who, while obviously not scoring at the same level, 42 of 41, those 42 runs were still very important in the context of this chase, because again, Hazratullah Zazai could only get 23, Rahmanullah Gurban could only get 11, so they needed some runs from the middle order, and even Nabi, normally the most cool customers in such circumstances, could only get 8 runs. So obviously, that was also it put a bit of pressure on the lower order of Afghanistan. But my god, watching Najibullah in full flow was just a joy to watch. He was absolutely smashing them out of the park very, very easily, and there was no effort. He was just doing it so easily, and we know, okay, that Sharjah is not exactly the biggest of grounds, but it was just so fun to watch, and Bangladesh were left shell shocked. In fact, I think what Shakib Al Hassan had said before the match when they won the toss and chose to bowl. He said that we don't think that Afghanistan are very good at chasing down totals. That's actually come back to bite him a little bit today, because they were absolutely amazing when it came to the chase. Even though they did, if Afghanistan had lost, I would have actually put the blame on their approach for the first 10 overs, because they were batting very slow. Even considering the fact that they lost 2 wickets, they were just leaving too much for too late. But as it turns out, it wasn't too much, because if you have Najibullah Zadran in your team, apparently, well, 80 runs of 10 overs is just very, very easy. In fact, as you can see, they finished it off with 9 balls to spare. So impressive victory from Afghanistan. They rightfully, deservedly have booked their spot in the Super Fours, and they're the first team to do it. So I'm just going to take a few of you guys' comments, because I can see a few of them coming. Yeah, big boy, I agree with you. Zadran power was just a joy to watch, absolutely. And Kunal Sen says that Afghanistan have a chance to play in the final. I wouldn't go that far just yet, but I will say that if anyone can upset the chances of an India-Pak final, it would be Afghanistan, because I think they are the third best team in this tournament. So they might actually have a chance of beating Pakistan if it comes down to it. My colleague here agrees with it entirely. My colleague, that's Arun from the Sports Tech app. You've seen him on our live sometimes. He agrees with that sentiment. Rajesh Kumar Patra says that Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, if Sri Lanka don't win, then they may be the time of their Asian power domination will be over. I mean, yeah, I'm honestly very surprised that Sri Lanka find themselves in this situation. You know that even all of us on this channel had been saying that, Sri Lanka were our dark horses. Of course, as it turns out, Afghanistan were the true dark horse, because, wow, the way they've been performing. And the thing with that, Rajesh, is that Sri Lanka haven't really been that dominant a side for a while. So, but Sri Lanka Bangladesh now is, as you say, it's basically a pre-quarter final or a quarter final of sorts before the Super Fours, because whoever wins that match is guaranteed qualification. It's just that easy. Afghanistan winning both their matches has ensured that both of these other two teams, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, of course, have a second chance. Whoever wins that match is through. It's that simple. As Love Rami also points out that he's very impressed by the performance of the Afghanistan team. Kudos to them, and I bet that they can cause upsets ahead in the tournament. I think everyone would agree with you in that regard. They've been very quietly impressive, and they've shown people yet again, like, a lot of people are saying, oh, Sri Lanka might just do something, Bangladesh might just do something. No one seemed to remember that Afghanistan have quality spinners, and that bowling lineup, like, Mujib, Rashid, and of course even Nabi, who I find is an underrated operator in T20I cricket, is someone who they can really choke the flow of runs, they can get you wickets, and then their batting is very good in these sort of conditions, as we saw today. Prakash Jha says that if you remember, Najibullah has been performing consistently in the lower order since 2019, but today he stamped his arrival. Yeah, absolutely. Najibullah has been, as you say, in the lower order, he has done well in the past, but this is going to be a performance that a lot of people talk about for a very long time, because, obviously, I mean, there was lusty hitting. I mean, 6 sixes, 1 4. Wow. It was an amazing innings to watch. And all of us here in the newsroom were having a lot of fun watching, that particular innings. Nitesh Mishra asked, do you think Afghanistan is playing well or the opposition are looking weak? It's both, if I'm being honest with you. I think Sri Lanka, definitely a lot of their wounds were self-inflicted in the last match. Bangladesh, however, we note for a fact they haven't been in the best of form recently. Remember, they lost an ODI and T20I series to Zimbabwe. So their form hasn't been great. They even had to wait to finalize their squad. And remember, there was a lot of chopping and changing there. They named Shakib captain again. So there's obviously a bit of turmoil there. But that takes nothing away from the fact that, if the other teams are doing things wrong, Afghanistan are doing everything right. They have stuck to their strengths. They know their limitations as a team. They know what their strengths are. They've played by those, and so far that's why they've won 2 games, in this manner. They know exactly that their strength lies in the bowling, so they're going to maximize their chances of restricting opponents, which is exactly what they've managed to do in both games. And then their batting can come and chase down small scores. In my opinion, where Afghanistan will really be tested is if they have a big total to chase down. So far, they've not had that, circumstance pop up. But doesn't take away from the fact that they've been very, very, very good. Manikant Reddy says that India, Pak, beware from Afghanistan. I mean, that's the thing. We always say that cricket is a sport where absolutely anything can happen. And Afghanistan have shown that they have that ability of setting the big boys. So, absolutely agree with you. Love Rami, by the way, is making a bold prediction, and he's saying that India-Afghanistan will be the final. Wow. If that happens, oof. And, that's the thing with these matches. It does in fact end up bringing out these upsets. So that's one very good thing, because all of us were predicting, very easy India Pakistan final. And I still think, by the way, that is in fact going to be the final. But you never really know. Afghanistan could cause an upset. We do note for a fact that they do have that ability. Their spinners are very, very good. Prakash Jha says, don't know, but I'm sensing that a few more IPL contracts for Afghanistan players are coming. They have been able to up their game in recent times. You know what? Yeah, I think if Najibullah enters, the IPL auction now, there'd be a few teams going for him for sure. So, and yes, they have in fact been a very underrated side in T20I cricket and white ball cricket in that regard. And as Divyanshu Luthra points out, that Najibullah is the most underrated cricketer in the Afghan side. He's always able to deliver under pressure. That's exactly what he managed to do today. So, in that sense, it would, of course, be... Yeah, that would be spot on. And Big Boy, no, Sri Lanka haven't been eliminated because they would have to, I think if now it's simply a case of a straight shootout between Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Because, of course, remember, both Sri Lanka and Bangladesh have played one game. Now they have to play each other in that pool. So I think whoever, in fact, loses that match will be eliminated, because it'll come down to points now. Plain and simple. So Ruben Loganathan says that Indian fans will have fast heartbeats when India's top 3 face the Afghan bowlers, especially the left-hand ones, as all know that the 3 or 4 facing left-hand fast-hand spinners. That's the thing. I mean, when we were watching Fazal Haq Farooqi, a lot of us were saying that I think any batsman in the world, like leave alone not just Indian, any batsman in the world would struggle to face that kind of swing bowling. So Fazal Haq was doing very well. Remember the first game. And their spinners, I mean, we note for a fact that, they have a quality battery of spinners, and I think that is something that we'll have to watch out for. If you're looking at it from an Indian fan perspective, remember one thing, that Kohli in recent times has struggled a little bit against off spinners. So that is something worth watching out for. Of course, we know that, the top three also does struggle against left arm seam. So Fazlullah Farooqi might just actually cause some trouble over there as well. As Love Rami also points out that, Rahmanullah Gurbaz was in the Gujarat Titans team, but he didn't get a chance. And yeah, I know there were a lot of people actually calling for Gurbaz to actually get a chance this season, but of course the GT management stuck with the safer choice of Matthew Wade, although he didn't really deliver a lot. But yeah, I think now, I think more people are going to be looking out for Gurbaz, because he's always been a bit of an exciting prospect. And not just Gurbaz, in fact, someone like, Najibullah as well. Now I think teams are going to be on the lookout for a player like him to get in there, give you some, power in the lower order, because this is a very good performance from them. And I think Afghanistan too can absolutely be proud of the kind of show that they've put on today. So, the breaking news for those of you who are just joining us is that Afghanistan have now sealed their passage into the Super Fours of the Asia Cup. They become the first team to do that, because remember, they beat Sri Lanka in their first pool game, and now they have, in fact, beaten Bangladesh as well in the second pool game. So that's it. They've done their job, easy as you like. Now it's a matter of Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. Which of these two teams wins that one match between them, and whoever wins that is the second team through. But Afghanistan, full credit to just how well they've been doing in recent times. And in the Asia Cup, not a lot of people fancied them despite the fact that they have quality. They've shown exactly why no one should be writing them off just yet. It was an amazing match to witness. So thank you all, by the way, so much for joining us. This will be the end of the show, but thanks once again for coming on to our lives. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Drop us a comment. How did you rate Najibullah's performance? We love hearing from you. And of course, don't forget to tap the bell icon if you're a subscriber. That way you know when it is we're going live or uploading a new video for you guys. Don't also forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Last but not least, download the AajTak app for all the breaking news updates from the Asia Cup and, in fact, the world of sport. Thank you all so much for joining us. Goodbye and good night.